Saki's hand, but he just can't apply a good fastball.
And Fryman has it. He'll come home. They'll get the out there. So Fryman backhanded and threw to Vogt. So that's the second out, and they're trying to keep the Blue Jays off the board. But now John Gibbons is going to come out and see what his argument is.
To be quite honest, Glenn, I think what he might be arguing is that there was a force play. It looked like Fryman might even tag the runner going down to second base before he threw the ball home, which would have made that a tag play opposed to it being a force play.
Well, let's see. Well, he tried to tag him. Now, let's see if he did get him. See, he tags him there, so that should be a run for the Blue Jays.
Yes, it should be.
Because the tag was made, which eliminates the force then, and you saw Encarnacion come in, and he would have needed to be tagged. Interesting, very interesting. And you know what? Nate Fryman's over there, and he knows that he tagged him.
Oh, he knows it.
And we're not saying that's the wrong play, because it's probably not, but Stephen Vogt doesn't know that he tagged him.
It was a great play. Not too often that a first baseman will field the ball with the bases loaded and make a double play unassistedly when you tag the runner and throw home. That's why Stephen Vogt was so surprised, because he's not used to having to tag a guy on a play like that.
So the four umpires are huddled, and this is very interesting. Obviously, none of them saw Fryman tag Kawasaki.
Fryman is the only one.
And
that
Kawasaki
knew that.
maybe. If he...
And I don't even think Kawasaki knows the rule right there.
Interesting.
He didn't even see that in Japan. I've never seen that in my 40 years of baseball.
No. And now you got, you know, the does it get checked? Because this is a run.
Is that a reviewable play?
That could be a different story. But the umpires have huddled now for a while.
The umpires are asking each other, is
this
it
a reviewable play?
That is the beauty of this game. Every day you show up,
but
something different can happen.
If you're John Gibbons, just say, I want the call at first reviewed. Right? Yeah, but the home plate umpire, there's the call. He thinks it's a force out as well, and it looks like they're going to take a look at it.
But
so John Gibbons is saying, I want you to check the tag at first, because I think I think he was out at first.
That is his only argument here. His only argument.
His argument is he wants his guy to be out at first, safe at home. Oh boy, interesting. Very interesting.
This play under review is presented by Samsung.
So we're just going to hold here and see what the umpires come up with. So the plays that are subject to review, and of course we know the most common ones, you know, the home runs, doubles, boundary calls, and the force play, obviously, force play, tag play are the two most common, so that one could fall under the tag play.
But there wasn't a call made on the tag play. Did the first base umpire signal out at first base on the tag?
All right, let's see if we can watch. We know what happens on the play first. Watch the umpire. Let's see if he does anything. So you're reviewing the tag play on your guy that was called safe, and you want him to be called out.
This is what they're arguing.
That's beautiful. Oh my goodness.
as great a job as Major League Baseball is doing with the instant replays, this is the part of it that really makes me scratch the 4 or 5 little hairs I have left on the top of my head.
Well, let's just triple check to make sure that Fryman did actually tag him. Yeah, and it certainly looked like he did. So that would make this right here a tag play. Stephen Vogt didn't know that Fryman tagged him, and at that point everybody looks a little confused.
How about Kawasaki being out of the baseline? I mean, he really went a long way to avoid the tag there. And if you watch where he was, I mean, he was at least 5 feet inside the grass.
So if you're the home plate umpire, who you call the guy out because you're looking down at your first base umpire and you see him say, safe, no tag.
That's what he saw.
So then it's a force and the guy's out. So
maybe what they are reviewing is if he actually made the tag. Because if he didn't, that nullifies it.
Toronto is challenging the ruling on the field. It said that the runner at first base was not tagged.
So that's what they're doing. They're challenging that their runner was called safe at first, but they actually want him to be called out at first, and they would get a run. This has to be a first.
This has to be one for Abbott and Costello. Who's on first? What's on second? I don't know.
Well, and you know what? John Gibbons deserves some credit.
Absolutely.
Blue Jays dugout. I mean, they saw it. Tim Leeper's the first base coach. He maybe had a pretty good view of it. All right, so here we go. Let's see, folks. Sonny Gray is just kind of walking around behind the mound. Yep. So Bob Melvin's now coming out. Bill Miller saying you cannot argue. So they called Kawasaki out, and they called the runner at home safe, and that gives the Blue Jays a run. Wow. So
After
Kawasaki
review,
is out on the Fryman tag.
The ruling on the field was overturned. The run allowed to be scored. The out was made at second
So
base.
Goes ends up a fielder's choice, and he's going to get an RBI. So Kawasaki was tagged. He's out. So it's 1-0. And now Bill Miller's coming over and
the guy at second's out. We're scoring a run.
he is talking to John Gibbons, and
But we're going to solve it right here and go from there.
I believe that Bob Melvin has filed a protest. So they're back on the headsets. We'll see what that's all about.
Well, I'm just as confused as I was from the beginning.
And I think the problem really all stems from Vic Carapazza, the first base umpire, calling him the runner safe, because that's when things sort of spun out of control here.
Well, from the angle that we had, you really couldn't tell because there wasn't daylight in between the tag there.
Now you look on the right side of the screen, you can see the first base umpire calling the runner safe.
I can't see how he can in that angle there, because from what it looks like from there, it looks like Fryman tagged him right on his rear. It was kind of clear cut there for me.
Yeah, I think just where his angle to the actual play, he may not have been able to see it. Fryman may have blocked him. But the problem is Stephen Vogt and the home plate umpire look down and they see the safe call. Well, then they're thinking, well, it is now a force play at home, and Vogt doesn't do anything except get the force, and he's just going by what the umpires say. So it's a little unfair for Stephen Vogt. So this game is being played under protest by the Oakland A's.
Very, very misfortunate. I mean, you just don't see that play that often.